Hey everybody, this is Chris for AFGolfStore here at our Cambridge store, and today I'm joined for another episode of our afternoon tea with Bruce Whitehead, our lead coach for our juniors and our adult group program. How you doing, Bruce?
Good, thanks. Yeah, not bad, Chris. Yeah,
Excellent.
Nice busy day today, so that's always good. Active, a lot of new golfers coming through the doors, which is nice.
Excellent. Yeah. Good. Yeah, you've been busy. So, as I said last week, this is an opportunity to go through all of our frequently asked questions, and this week we thought we would tap into junior golf, and one of the most common questions we get is, how do I get my child into junior golf? So hopefully you can give us a little bit of an insight today as to how we can do that for any parents that are listening, especially what kind of advice you would have to them on how to get the journey started. So
okay, so we really specialise on making the whole environment welcoming, so it's you don't just sort of start golf straight away. We really suggest come for 2 or 3 lessons, try it first, have an experience. So don't buy the clubs, don't suddenly say my son plays golf now, my daughter's a golfer. I think it's important to come in and just try it first, have a positive experience, have low expectations, just give it a go. And then we try and teach it again very organically, very naturally, step by step. Try to create some passion, some games, and then all of a sudden, if you start to gradually like golf, they have a passion, they want to practice, they want to play more. Then we can really shape them and mold them to become good players.
Yeah.
So I think the key message is don't push them too much. Let them try it first. Normally it takes 3 or 4 weeks to get a true feeling of whether they like it or if they can do it, because golf is quite a hard game to learn initially, so it just takes a couple of weeks to get some momentum and then try and spark that passion they want to continue coming back.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously it's such a highly coordinated sport. What about age? Like, do you start off at a specific age? Or?
We have some young golfers like age 5 that come to weekend classes, and it's all about whether they can hold the focus for during the class for that duration, and once they can, then age is not so much an issue, and they can really start to learn fast. I mean, if you can obviously if you can learn at a young age, you're going to get better and better as you get older. And I really, looking back, I wish I learned at age 5 the right way with a coach, with some instruction, rather than self-taught the wrong way at a much older age.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously going back into like what you said about 5-year-olds starting, one thing that we've talked a lot about in the past with our junior academy is gamification, doing a lot of stations, and a big part of that is to try and hold focus, right? So
absolutely, yeah. We try and teach them through the life skills and the lesson plans how to if they can focus, then they're ready to learn. So I might get them to try this, how to be able to sort of balance on one leg for 1 minute either side. That tells me they're ready to kind of listen and learn. If they're kind of bouncing around, I've got to try to captivate their interest, their focus, before I can start giving them more technical parts of the lesson.
Yeah. Do you get that often? Like, obviously within a group setting, I suppose you can have a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old together. Like, how do you combat that if you've got an older one that's really engaged and maybe a younger one that's not so engaged?
Yeah, so even though it's a group lesson, I will still teach them quite individually on their needs, what motivates them, on the different sort of learning speeds. But it's certainly better to have some faster learners in the group. We try and pull the group up so the lesser ones can watch, learn. The environment is quite a big thing, especially when they get better. The environment is probably more important than actually the technical aspects. As they get older and older, they can learn how to perform under pressure, be around good players. They can really start to pull them up into much more higher levels.
Excellent. Okay, cool. Well, let's dive into lesson 1 then. What that could look like. So, what could the child expect in their first session with you, and what would you like to see as learning outcomes for a 5-year-old through to a 16-year-old?
Yeah, so lesson 1 is more just introduction. Make sure it's fun. We just give them one outcome. That's really it. Just some coordination stuff. Some sequencing, understanding how to sort of follow the downswing. Might be the foot first, the hip, then the hands start to follow. Something they can just simulate by just maybe throwing, or we might even use a baseball bat or a hockey stick, just to try and feel that chain of command starts in the right way. Then we can start to build a good foundation for chipping, pitching, full swing, when it becomes fairly natural, then we can start to take them from this environment to the golf course. The great thing here is we've got the pitch and putt course just behind us here, 9 holes, par 3. And then this weekend I'm going to take some of the older students, the more advanced ones, to the 9-hole course and do that. So once they have the technical competence, we're going to move them to an environment where there's a bit more consequence, like scoring outcomes you mentioned, so they actually become better through training and practice. They can perform better when there's more motivation to score, to compete, versus hitting balls in the range. There's less desire to want to compete as such.
Yeah, that's really exciting. I think it's really good that you're able to kind of share what the pathway is here, and there's a little insight on where you can start and the progression that you can take. Obviously, we've got the pathway now set out. What's the time span on that, and what's the expectations long term? Because I think we've talked in the past about how some parents can kind of listen to how we talk and kind of immediately think we expect everybody to be a professional golfer, and that's not the case.
No, not at all.
We want everybody to enjoy the game and have golf for life.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, good question. So each level is going to be sort of 6 months. So the first level is just pathways, getting the introduction, getting some basic outcomes. Once they get over that initial intro, that really kind of means they're going to probably continue golf for the rest of their life, which is exciting for us because they're going to get better and better. It's going to be exciting for them to keep playing golf as they get into business or different careers. It's going to benefit them in a number of ways. Obviously going to become healthier, more sort of active, and then once they get sort of more passion, we can start to create this more competent golfer that can start to play in competitions. Getting a handicap is a big thing these days. If they want to sort of maybe go to a different certain school or maybe future college, having a low handicap, maybe having even an official ranking opens a lot more doors as well. And you sort of mentioned about teaching the county players in Cambridge. Once handicap becomes sort of below 10, there's every chance they might get invited to the county training and then be around a whole new environment of better players. That's going to that environment's going to make them become much more more established as well, more confidence.
Yeah, perfect. And obviously, for anybody that's listening and watching this and thinking, I want to get my child into golf, Bruce recently joined us from China, and his background comes with a wealth of experience of growing junior golf globally and taking juniors to collegiate level.
Yeah, I mean, I really have been quite experienced in taking. I had numerous students that came to me as a beginner, like a 7 or 8 year old, and then gradually through the years of training, following a specific, method of how to practice, how to compete, how to train, we can start to see the progress. And I had some students that now play professionally on the PGA or the tours, China Tour, and then some students, a lot of them are in college now in the US. I regularly sort of apply for schools to them, colleges, give them my kind of, my kind of feedback and my sort of belief this is going to be a good student in the future for their school and stuff. So it's really quite exciting for those ones, and definitely you can do it here as well, in this country. And I really want to kind of get behind some of the junior golf in England now, give my experience, my passion that I've learned, and put back and try and grow the game here and create the next, successful golfers or successful business people. It's always a good benefits.
Excellent. So finally, I guess we can go all day about the different aspects of junior golf, and I'm sure we will. We'll touch base again and go through different areas and how we can help children and parents alike. But if anybody wants to get in touch, then it's at Total Junior Golfer, and ask for Bruce, and Bruce will always be available to answer your questions, speak face to face, and we do offer first session free for the group session, so a great opportunity to come down and try it and meet Bruce, get involved. And have you got anything else to add?
You can also follow our Instagram page as well, which is gives a lot of my tips. I'm going to give weekly tips on there and some insights. I'm happy to accept anyone to send videos in or add me up and send videos in. I can, it depends what journey, or if you're like a beginner or if you're intermediate or advanced player, I'm happy to review your videos and footage and give my advice back, and it might help to answer some questions you might have as well. So happy to do that as well.
Excellent. Well, thanks very much, Bruce, and
Pleasure.
look forward to talking again soon. Cheers, guys.